Hello, I'm Rebecca, Assistant Marketing Manager at Greenpeace. I'm here today to discuss some research we would like to be carried out regarding the debate going on at the moment about whether climate change exists and some of the causes and the impacts it could have on people's pro-environmental behaviour. I want to start by just giving a little bit of background about some of the events which have happened over the last few years, which have been hugely significant in changing people's attitudes about climate change. The first of these is the Paris Climate Accord. Politics play a huge role in the population's attitude towards the environment. With Brexit looming, there were concerns as to whether the government would retain EU regulations. On a more global scale, there have been concerns raised with US President Donald Trump pledging to cut US expenditure on the environment by nearly a third, as well as withdrawing the US from the Paris Climate Agreement, an agreement between around 200 countries working towards lower greenhouse gas emission, keeping global temperatures low, and providing climate finance to poorer nations to help them adapt to climate change and switch to renewable energy. In 2016, Pope Francis announced that it was a sin to destroy the environment and called for urgent action on climate change and urged political and business leaders to stop thinking of short-term gains and work for the common good. In a 2018 study led by Lorenzo Alfieri and Richard Betts, impact models were used to assess the risks of large-scale flooding in Europe. They estimated that between 500,000 and 1 million would be affected by flooding in the future climate. We know that the state of the environment is important to a majority of the population now. According to Mintel, 67% of adults agree that they are concerned about the future of the environment. The report also found that consumers are beginning to show a preference for brands they consider less wasteful. Politics appears to be one of the big drivers in terms of people's attitudes towards the environment and climate change. In the UK, the green agenda is becoming more important, as can be seen from Theresa May's recent reshuffle of the cabinet and the climate minister now attending cabinet meetings. However, in the US, 45% of the population were very worried about climate change. Moreover, Scott Pruitt, head of the Environmental Protection Agency, suggested in February 2018 that global warming may be beneficial to humans. How will this, along with Trump's withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement and reduction in environmental spending, affect their attitudes? Some countries are already looking to cut their emissions and use greener alternatives. In South Australia, there is a plan in place to create a network of at least 50,000 home solar systems with Tesla batteries and ergo creating the world's largest virtual power plant. A Mintel report in 2014 showed that 27% of people would recycle more if there was an incentive, while 19% said they would be more environmentally friendly if they could see the result of their actions. A further 11% stated that it is only worth being environmentally friendly if it saves you money. We can see therefore that people are more inclined to be environmentally active if they receive some sort of reward or for personal reasons. One company that picked up on this is Recycle to Coin. The initiative was launched in 2017, which rewards users with tokens that can be exchanged for e-gifts and cards or donated to help fight pollution and poverty. All this is for recycling plastic bottles and aluminium cans. In 2015, recycling rates fell to 43.9% from 44.8% the previous year. However, in 2017, 74% of households claimed to recycle all of the time. This is one of the reasons that research is now required to find the current attitudes and behaviour of people in regards to being more green and in regards to climate change. The research objectives that have been laid out is to monitor the attitudes and beliefs of younger adults and what they are currently doing to be pro-environmental. We have selected this age range so as to target families. We are also looking to see whether age affects people's attitudes toward climate change. Although we are mainly targeting younger adults, the age range is quite broad and there is scope for many different attitudes within it. We are interested to know whether location affects people's attitudes, both at a national level and at a global level. We would also like to know whether current events, such as the incident with the Paris Climate Agreement, will have an effect on people's attitudes and behaviour regarding climate change. So in conclusion, the questions that we want to answer are: what are people's attitudes towards climate change? What are people's beliefs about climate change? What are people doing to become more pro-environmental? Whether age and location has any effect on people's attitudes towards climate change, and whether current events have an effect on people's attitudes towards climate change. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our brief, and we look forward to receiving your proposal.